Split out as a wideout, at least for now. We'll see if he motions. He will come in the backfield alongside Thorne. And now sprints wide left. Thorne looking middle, and what a catch! Lambert-Smith came down with it. Breck snap, pitch back, Reed rolls right, dropped! It was dropped! Auburn wins!
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Welcome you back to 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Interact wherever you are tuning in, be it Facebook, IG, Virginia Preps, and so many other platforms. We are now delighted to be joined by a special guest, a fifth-round draft choice, 158th overall of the Los Angeles Chargers, out of Maury High School in Norfolk. He started at Penn State and then with the Auburn Tigers, KeAndre Lambert-Smith. How are you, my friend? Congrats. You've made it to the National Football League.
For sure. Appreciate y'all for having me. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. This is going to be a dream of yours since you were a little tyke. We've watched you grow up. Certainly people know about your famous uncle, who also was a fifth-round draft choice, by the way. Seattle Seahawks, part of the Legion of Boom. He started at Maury and Kam Chancellor. You go to Maury. You win the program its first state championship. It's hard to believe that's been 6 years ago, I think it was, Dre. You hear your name called. Take me through the emotion when you get that phone call. You're sitting there on the couch with your family, and you've realized, oh, my goodness, I've made it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time, waiting. I sat there, they won, kind of just kicked it with coach and the other of my homeboys. Day 2 came around, had people show up, didn't get the call. Day 3, I knew it was coming at some point. And, I was just sitting there nervous, honestly. Went down there, it dropped. Answered, and I was like, all right, this is the ball, the receiver coach, and I knew it was real. Just excited to get out there, man. It's been a long time coming.
You mentioned being nervous. I'm sure that's natural for any youngster in his late teens, early 20s, and he's getting ready to realize his dream of professional sports, professional football in your case. But one of the things that did crack me up, I think we saw the human side of you. You had that conversation. I think the LA Chargers YouTube account had it, where I think Coach Harbs, who was once a rival coach when you were at Penn State, he was at Michigan. He says, hey, you're about to see what our great quarterback's all about in Justin Herbert. You're going to wait until you see him. He's about to see what I'm about. So we saw kind of that natural swag of yours. Just how have you processed this whole thing of now you're going to the West Coast and you're going to get a chance to make a splash out there?
I'm still processing it, honestly. I think it won't really hit me until I get out there and I put on my jersey. But I mean, I told coach, like, he's finna see what I'm about. Like I said, I still don't feel like I reached my peak or, got close to my full potential. So, teaming up with an elite quarterback like Justin Herbert is only going to allow me to, I feel like he's going to help me become my best. So that's why I said, man, he's going to see what I'm about. I'm going to go there, gain his trust, gain the trust of the team, my teammates, the coaches, and the entire organization. But like I said, man, great.
You were breaking up there last thing you said. We didn't catch that last part. You said, what was that?
What part did it go out
You
at?
caught up. You said the last little bit after you talked about playing with a great quarterback in Justin Herbert. You kind of cut out for a second.
Yeah, he's just going to allow me, take my game to the next level, lining up and teaming up with a great elite quarterback like him. So, like I said, just grateful for the opportunity. And like I said, can't wait to get out there.
KeAndre Lambert-Smith, fifth-round draft choice of the LA Chargers, our guest here out of Maury High School in Norfolk. 50 grabs for 981 yards and 8 TDs this past year in the SEC with the Auburn Tigers, and had that memorable win on that late Saturday night game, Ed, against Texas A&M down there at Auburn.
Yeah.
Dre, first of all, Ed Young here, corrects. on the draft, getting into the NFL. You've earned it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on to our show, too. I got to take you back to your childhood. Growing up, I know you had the dream of playing in the NFL. As you got older, you saw you had the talent. It's going to be there. Was there a particular team, or who was your favorite team to play? I know you might say Chargers now because those are the ones that got you, but in all honesty, was there a team that you always dreamed about playing for in particular?
Yes. So I grew up a huge Steelers fan. I'm obviously from Virginia, so people ask me how did I become a Steelers fan. Maybe kindergarten and first grade, my teacher used to come in with a terrible towel. I just got drawn to the Steelers, and then I happened to watch my all-time favorite receiver, Antonio Brown, which is funny because he wore 84, and that's what I'm rocking in LA now for the time being. So just that's who I like growing up, and then obviously when my uncle went to the Seahawks, I was like, all right, I'm a Steelers and Seahawks fan. But like you said, now now it's all LA.
Yeah, he'd really been torn, Ed, if that Super Bowl had happened when Unc was there. They met in the Super Bowl, but it wasn't when Uncle Cam got there. It ended up Cam winning the Super Bowl later, but that'd have been really crazy. And he's wearing 84 just like AB. How about that?
But that was going to be my next question. Did you model yourself after any particular receiver? And of course, Antonio Brown, who had a knack of getting open and then yards after catch, was tremendous with them. And of course, he had his own flair too, which sometimes was his downfall. But when it came down to production, that's what he is.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining with the Chargers, it doesn't matter where you get drafted. You're going to get a shot. We look at what happened with one Shador Sanders, which is overkill. Is he drop. But I simply said, and I do think that he did drop further than what he should have. But on the other hand, he's picked. He's in there now. Now you got to show out what you can do. What are the Chargers really getting with you?
They're getting somebody, basically a culture driver. I'm gonna come drive the culture, set the standard, and hold it to wherever it is. And just a guy like you say that's gonna come in with swagger, gonna come in and compete. I'm an ultimate competitor. I think that's probably my biggest trait, and just a genuine guy who's gonna connect with everybody in the locker room and be consistent. And like I said, I'm gonna gain the trust of the organization, my teammates, my coaches, and produce and maximize my role, whatever that is, rookie year and going on. But definitely getting a competitor, consistent guy who's gonna make plays, get open, and do anything you need him to do.
A guy that was player of the year with the Maury Commodores. They won a championship
It
6
broke
years
up
ago. They
again.
now won 3 state championships. KeAndre with 1,500 plus yards from scrimmage and 26 touchdowns his senior year with the Commodores. Our guest here now with the LA Chargers. Dre, last year was funny at the Maury Showcase Day. You were standing around. So was Tavion Robinson from Cox High School in Virginia Beach. He went from Virginia Tech to Kentucky, and you were making that transition from Penn State to Auburn. And he made the statement that, it's a little different down there in the SEC. How right was he? What did you realize that was different about playing in SEC football, and how did you improve from Penn State to Auburn this past year?
Yeah, so when I went to and you guys kind of broke out, but I think I caught the meat of the question. When I went when I went to Auburn, I was already pretty developed. I was a fifth year guy, and I'm not gonna get into the whole like which conference is better. I feel like it's great players in every conference, even the lower divisions. But I played against great competition. Like I tell everybody, I practiced against at Penn State. I feel like I practiced against my hardest competition. It was, my first rep was against Joey Porter Jr. I went against Jair Brown, Jaquan Brisker, a lot of guys in this year draft, Jalen Reed, KJ Winston. I can go on, Kalen King. So I always practiced at a high level at Penn State, and played against a lot of great competition. I went against Will Johnson, Witherspoon, Banks from Maryland. So I always played against guys, and just transitioning to the SEC, I feel like it kind of made it. I wouldn't say easy, but I wasn't really struggling going against guys in the SEC. I did. It was a corner in Kentucky, pretty long. He reminded me of Joey Porter. Um, but if that answers your question, I don't think it's a big difference within the competition. The culture was different, um, and just going from up north where it snows, pretty often, going down south where it's hot, I almost passed out on my first camp practice. Um, So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Well, and you had some great moments for both Penn State and for Auburn. Of course, people
Yeah,
remember the Rose Bowl game a couple years ago, 88-yard reception to the house
that's
for a score there as a redshirt sophomore. And then this past year, that game we showed the clip of when you came on against Texas A&M. How electric were some of those moments to be able to shine on the big stage like that? Because there are some people wondering, I'm sure that's part of your chip on your shoulder to go prove that you should have been picked higher. You know what? You ran a 4.37 at the scouting combine, blazing time. You were productive. You certainly had some things measurable wise, numbers wise that were better than some other receivers, but that's part of your motivation. You stepped up in big games from your days in high school, college at Penn State, and then at Auburn.
I mean, that's kind of. I feel like I play. When the lights are brightest, I feel like I shine the most. So like you say, I've been on the big stage at Penn State, played in a lot of electric games. Going to Ohio State when they were loaded, the whiteout games, and then like you said, just this past year, uh, the four overtime versus A&M. End up crowd surfing after the game. Never experienced fans rushing the field. So all of them were great memories, and I feel like it's something you really can't. You can speak about it, but you gotta be live and you gotta be in the flesh, because it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. You won't get that feeling back. But I plan on making more memories. Right now, I go to my Super Bowl, and I know that's a different feeling. That's a it's like you get to the NFL. All right, now you want to win the Super Bowl and Pearl Bowl stuff like that. Uh, Big game winning catches, all of that. So I mean, I just plan on creating more experiences similar to those.
Trying to get the Bolts to their first Super Bowl in 31 years, Ed.
Yeah, and Dre, I got to tell you, I love
That's
you to
right.
death, but I'm a Raider fan.
Oh,
I'm a Raider fan, so I'm just going to let you
Uncle. So is
know.
my uncle.
Your uncle's a Raider fan too. Okay, okay. I want to ask you about the combine. There's been a lot of talk about the interview process, and the
Yeah.
NFL asked some crazy questions, and I mean personal questions from what we're hearing. What Going back to that process with you, what was, maybe if you can divulge it, a question or two that caught you a little bit by surprise, at least that, wow, they're going to ask me this? Anything along those lines?
So I really, I really don't have experience with any crazy questions. If I'm being honest, some of the guys who were there, they did tell me that coaches asked them questions about, more personal questions that were kind of crazy to them. But the biggest question for me was just, I mean, everybody. I probably answered the reason like why I left Penn State to go to Auburn. That probably was my biggest question. They tried to probably trick you to, ask you, do you regret anything, or because obviously Auburn, we didn't make a bowl game. Penn State, they almost won a national championship. So I mean, I feel like it was just a lot of question on why I left Penn State. But I didn't really get hit with no crazy questions that caught me off guard.
Another behind the scenes thing I'd like to hear. Matt and we've interviewed a lot of, coaches, experts. People think they're experts. We have our own opinions. NIL deals for college athletes. I'm on record as saying guys should be paid, but I think it needs to be corralled a little bit. It's just kind of crazy. You're an athlete. You're the one that benefited from it. You were right in the middle of all that. What's your opinion on it? Do you think it's good as is? Do you think there should be some changes? I always interested to hear what the athletes involved would think about it.
Yes, I definitely think it was a great addition. Like you say, it's almost like pre NFL, so you get the opportunity to take care, the people that that's in your circle, the loved ones. You get a chance to take care of them a little sooner now. But I feel like I got out of college right at the perfect time because I mean I didn't get 8 million or whatever these deals going around. That wasn't me, so I don't know too much about it. I do think it should be a little more regulated with a little more, but I think that's gonna come the longer
Oh, we lost him. His phone cut out. We'll see if we can get him right back.
Yeah, he was having something. He might be going for a tough area.
Well, I think he was set. It might be the phone could have got overheated or could have cut out there. So we do apologize. We'll hopefully get reconnected with KeAndre coming up here as he was talking about the NIL process, and we've got him, I think, now back reconnected with us. So hopefully he rejoins us. Sorry about that, Dre. Sometimes internet technology will just cut out on you. Finish up what you were saying there. You were telling Coach Young about the whole NIL process and what you think. You weren't one getting $8 million, but give us your thoughts if you can to finish up.
Can you say that one more time? Because I literally just lagged out and I had to rejoin.
No, you're good. I said you cut out, you dropped out on us on that question that Coach Young asked you about the NIL, and you weren't one of the guys to get $8 million, but you see some benefits on it. If you could kind of finish up your statement that you had, that we lost you midstream there.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't one of the guys getting $8 million, so I feel like I left college at the right time. But I definitely think it's going to become, as NIL continues to grow and college continues to evolve, I think it's going to be changes made. But I think it's a great addition because I mean it's a lot of long hours that college athletes put into it, from school to the practice field to weight room to playing games, and it's honestly like a pre-NFL. That's what you're gonna do in the NFL. You're gonna get paid. You're gonna get deals, sponsors, all of this stuff. So I mean, it's just getting you ready for the next level at an earlier time. But I do think it's gonna be changes made.
There's been a lot of great wide receivers that have followed you at Maury since you departed. That group that you and Ty Granger and Cam LeBourne and Deshaun Peel. What would you tell that next receiver in line that wants to be the KeAndre Lambert-Smith? Besides, I'm sure that Kam, be yourself, don't be me. But what's the biggest thing you learned going from high school to college? And also, to follow it up, what have you learned as you finished up the college part of your career, as you begin this NFL journey, the biggest piece of advice or thing that you've soaked up as you get ready for this next step in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, just be real intentional with your time. Time waits for nobody. Whether it's taking care of your body, limiting distractions, um, and just hitting the playbook hard. You got to know what you're doing, but just making sure you got everything in line, dealing with yourself, and control what you can control. I think that's something I kind of was preached from Coach McCain to the next level to all my coaches. Just control what you can control, because you can end up in a circumstance where you may not been used to it, or it may not be going your way. It may not be benefiting you how you think it should be. But you got to just control what you can control, head down, and be the same guy every day. And everybody's journey is different. So when it's your time, you got to be ready for it.
Looking to seize the moment, KeAndre Lambert-Smith, couple minutes with him here, the fifth-round draft choice of the Los Angeles Chargers, 158th overall out of Maury High School in Norfolk. Pride of the 757 after a 50-catch, 981-yard, 8-touchdown season for the Auburn Tigers in the SEC, and one of a dozen or so guys that got picked from the Commonwealth of VA this year, Ed, who played their high school ball in our state in this year's NFL draft.
Well, and Dre, I got to ask you, your uncle, Kam Chancellor, Legion of Boom, and when you came across the middle against him, you were picking up different parts of body, and you went to the sideline knowing you were hit. Has he talked to you? I'm sure you all have interacted about the NFL process, and let's take him in his – I can't put you at where he was, but I can bring him back to where you are now in your high school, college primes. Two-part question. Your interaction with him in the NFL process, number one. And number two, who would beat who in a one-on-one in your primes at the college level? Uncle Kam or Dre?
Okay, so you kind of just let it down. I apologize. I don't know why this internet is acting like this. Could you just restate the meat of the question?
Well, let me give you the first question.
Sure.
Your uncle, of course, great career with Seattle, and he was a hitter. You played then that Legion of Boom back here in that backfield. You knew you were getting hit. How has he helped you through this process of getting you NFL ready? And we'll do with that question. And when you're done with that, I got another question. Talk about us with the conversation with Uncle Kam.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dre. Did you catch that?
Yeah. So when I said just being intentional, he kind of taught me about like being punctual with time. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, you cut out again. You said you started off with your uncle saying being intentional with time and punctual. Continue on if you can elaborate on that, if you will. We cut out there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I went up there when I was a little kid. We were supposed to go to the movies at, let's say, 6 o'clock. I came down at 6:01. He was gone. I texted him. He's like, I said 6 o'clock. So from that point on, I knew. I mean, all right. He taught me a quick lesson. Time waits for nobody. That's why I just referenced that. And then throughout this whole thing, he told me about limiting distraction. He gave me some of his experiences in NFL, and let me know what it takes. All right, if you want to reach this level, the level that I reach, this is what it takes. And it's about being focused. It should be nothing but football, studying, and no distraction basically. Taking care of your body. This is the way to do it. And when I was going throughout my when I was getting ready for the combine, I actually went up to Seattle not too long ago to live with him for a week, and just seeing like how I should be eating. He had his masseuse come to the house 2 times a week. I did yoga, and in that short amount of week, and then obviously we had long talks, probably just daily, whether we were eating dinner, breakfast, whatever the case may be. But just the knowledge that I gained. And when I went back to Tampa to finish training, I just took all those with me, and that's something I'm gonna, implement. All right, when I go to LA, I'm gonna get my nutritionist. I'm gonna find a massage lady. I'm gonna, continue to be intentional on my body to the max and just lock in. And because ultimately, I'm trying to reach the level he was at or greater.
That's good stuff. Before Ed asks his follow up, so your uncle actually left you, and he's smart, savvy, and he was a heck of a player in the NFL for about 8 years, Pro Bowler, All Pro. He actually left you for the movies. It was 6:01, 6 o'clock. He went ahead and left you. Is that true?
Yeah, he was gone. He was gone, and I thought he just forgot about him by accident. But no, I guess I was supposed to be down at 5:55. 5 minutes ahead of time, maybe 5:57 the latest. But he doesn't play with his time, and I realized that real quickly.
No, Dre, I think I should adopt that method with Coach Young because he always says, we're at 10 o'clock or something or a specific time, and he's always 5-10 minutes late. We brought you on a few minutes late because of him being long-winded. So I should just leave him in the dust, shouldn't I? Just like Kam did you, right? That's what I should do to Coach, shouldn't I?
No, hold on. Don't get Dre to be talking the wrong way. Dre, I'm late because I already know when I get there, I got to sit around and wait for this dude.
Oh, he's got excuses.
Don't let him snow you.
Excuses. That doesn't win you games. Doesn't win you anything. That loses you money. What are you doing? Yeah,
no, I'm just saying. But
I don't know
the other question I did have for you, Dre, is in your college primes, because you've already been there, and Uncle Kam was been there too. Who would win a one-on-one battle between you two?
Dre, you muted yourself. All right, you're back. You're back now. Go ahead.
My bad. I'm sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
So we kind of lagged out again, and right now I'm trying to move the car somewhere to get better signal because I don't know why it keeps going out. But I know you said who would win a one-on-one battle between me or Kam, and I think we both know that I would. Kam is kind of, he hasn't been working out as much as I have, and he hasn't been on his P's and Q's, so he still take care of his body, he still eat right, but I'm more conditioned, quicker than he is. Now I would never go heads up with him. I think somebody asked me what would I do if I get a slant and he's right there. It's gonna be a conservative catch. I'm not just gonna take a hit from Kam for no reason. But as far as him lining up in the slot trying to cover me, he know it'll be a long day for him. He know that.
All right, because we're going to get Uncle Kam one of these days on here, and I'm going to tell him Dre said he would smoke you without any problem, and we're going to see what he says, because I don't know him that well, but I bet he's going to say, come on, young fella, let's do it right now. And I'm talking about both of you in your college prime, both great condition, top of your game.
College?
At your top of your game, because right now. Yeah, because right now you should beat him. You're younger, quicker, faster, whatever. But in your college primes at the same time, would you change your idea, or you still say you beat him?
No, so even back then, like I said, Kam was what, 6'3", nobody that big is just covering me in the slot. I'm not gonna lie. I do think my uncle's a great player, and I got him covering anybody else in the slot, the Edelmans, in the Super Bowl. I got him doing all of that, but I just think I'm too savvy, and I'll probably make Kam pull a hip or something. It'll get bad.
Listen, that's the thing these basketball coaches don't get, Dre, is that he was an awesome safety, but safeties aren't supposed to be island one-on-one with a speedy wide receiver with the ups that you've got. And now listen, if he gets a one-on-one shot with you, I pray to God for you and anybody else. But hey, one-on-one, you guys shouldn't smoke any safety. I mean, unless the only safeties have really been able to cover like corners like Rod Woodson's in a role, which are just unicorns. But anywho, before I let you go, last one from me. Any shout-outs you have, and also in addition to the shout-outs you have, and I'm sure Coach probably has a follow-up here too. Just tell us what's it been like. I'm sure the dialogue with you and Coach McCain over these days, and he was a heck of a receiver back in his day, and the advice he's given you throughout this process. I know you guys stay in touch, and you got to be super pumped what Maury's done since you've left, as they've continued on the tradition that you guys kind of started.
Yeah. So I think I heard your question right. Just basically like any advice or like just how our relationship has grown, or
both, a little bit of both. Yeah, speak on that if you can.
Yes, I mean Coach McCain is definitely somebody. When I'm talking to these scouts and they ask me like who those people in your corner, the mentors, it's definitely I mentioned my uncles obviously, and then from high school, my freshman year he came after the season. It's been Coach McCain in my corner ever since. Whether it's long talks on the phone, advice, I'm showing him film. He's correcting me on something, holding me accountable from far away. He's definitely somebody who, always had my best interest. And he let me know at an early age as well in high school, my freshman year, what it was going to take for me to, reach this level. And it was just, he always told me your mental. So, I mean, he's definitely, that's my guy. I was just talking to him on the phone. He always challenging me. He kind of got at me yesterday because I told him, I didn't miss my workout. My trainers and stuff, they were busy, so I just took the day, just study up on the Chargers, the info that I got from them. And he was like, man, so what? We just satisfied with the phone call? Like, you don't want to be one of the greatest. Like, you don't want to be. And it's funny because he used to tell me that in high school when I get my first offer, I didn't have no offers, and he seen me maybe I didn't really slack, but if I wasn't on my A game, he'll call me out. You don't want to be one of the best in the country. You don't want to go to this school. You don't want to. So he always gonna challenge me to be my best. I think that's what I appreciate him the most for. But man, that's my guy, and I think everybody, kind of needs somebody like him in their corner. He's not gonna just tell you what you want to hear. He's gonna tell you what you need to hear. So I mean, I just appreciate him for that.
I love it. Knows what buttons to push. Ed, final one.
No, Dre. Just a quick follow up. From this point, like right now, what will be expected of you? What have the Chargers told you? Like you've got rookie camp coming up, and kind of tell us from now till maybe like up to September what Dre Smith would be doing here.
Yes, I mean I get there next Thursday, Thursday, and I mean Coach just simply told me on the phone like, the whole building we loved you, we wanted you since day one. Like basically I always run their board. And he mentioned to me, like, it doesn't matter what round you went with pick. He sent me a clip of, I can't remember the guy's name, but when my receiver coach was at the Raiders, he sent me a guy who, they took him in the 5th round. He made an immediate impact. So basically just let me know, like, man, it doesn't matter when you get picked. We're not looking at you like that. Come in here, we want you to compete for a spot, immediately. And I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I was going to do regardless, wherever I ended up, I'm a guy, like I said, I'm gonna maximize my role, but I like making plays for the team. I know I'm capable of it, and I'm an ultimate competitor, so I'm gonna always come and challenge the guys in the room in a good way. I feel like that's needed in the room. You want guys that's gonna compete at a high level at all times. You want guys where you feel like the backup can play, because it's gonna make sure you on your A game at all times. So I mean, they told me that, hey, we got you in the 5th round, but that doesn't matter. We expect you to come here and compete for a spot.
Well, KeAndre, we're so proud of you. We're so delighted that you're in the NFL. 5th-round draft choice of the Los Angeles Chargers out of Maury High School. He started at Penn State and then Auburn. All the best to you, my friend. Before we let you go, you got to make one promise to me. If you do get to the Super Bowl, we don't want any tickets. We know you'll take care of your family and your coaches, but just make sure you get the super fan in the building because he's your ace in the hole. He'll put the hex on another team. You know who I'm talking about? This guy we're talking about. Get our buddy Daryl in the building because he'll put the hex on the other guys and you guys will win, all right?
Yeah, I might got to get Daryl in there. I might got to.
Hey, Dre, all the best to you, my friend. We'll talk again soon, and best of luck to you in the Chargers and down the road.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me.
You bet.
Good luck to you, Dre.
Thank you.
KeAndre Lambert-Smith, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. We'll take a